Yes, y'all. Welcome in, everybody, to episode 139 of the Dumb Marks podcast. It's your boys, your favorite Saturday brunch bunch, back at it again. Gentlemen, how we living? How we feeling? Everybody good?
Yep, good.
Doing all right this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's Saturday. It's a nice, cool day out. I'm here for the shits and giggles, so I'm just going to start this pod off with a question. Okay? What activity do you do now that is not a sport would you make into a sport? And there's a reason why I'm asking this question, which I will get to here shortly.
How many times I could roll from my bed one side to the other side?
Holding laundry.
Anything. I don't do anything but chill. Relaxing was a sport, I'd win.
Relaxing was okay. All right. So Donald, if we were playing hot and cold, you would be the hottest of the three responses here. Sweden. Shout out to Sweden. Don't know if we got anybody that listens to the pod in Sweden, but shout out to Sweden. There's a new sport coming to town, folks. And a Swedish strip club owner is starting up a sex league as a sport. It will feature 20 people from different categories competing in various events. I have so many questions about this. I saw this and I immediately sent it to my wife. I said, look at this.
Is this a game built for speed or?
Well, so
speed,
exactly,
endurance.
You don't really know, but I have so many questions, right? Like, number one, what are the categories? Number two, are there weight classes? Number three, what is the judges' criteria for this? Number four,
are there judges?
How do you apply to be a judge? Number five, do you get, does it score on a higher point scale for the more difficult positions? Like if we're doing the Venus flytrap versus just regular missionary, do I get bonus points for that? Right?
Creativity.
If you suffer from PE, is that considered like a TKO and you're just knocked out? Like, is this a round robin tournament? Like, how's this set up? And what does the championship belt look like? Since everybody's giving belts out this week, I want to know what the championship belt for the Swedish Sex League looks like. Because if I'm designing the belt, I'm going doggy style all day long as far as the position on the belt.
Is there a solo category?
Well, that's a good question.
That's called a decathlon. Well, all these categories. Who's the best of the best?
Yeah, like so this is a real thing. Like, no joke. He's really starting it up.
I'm not surprised.
I'm surprised it took so long for somebody to think of this idea to do this.
And it's over in
the
Europe.
United States. Why are we behind?
Yeah, that's Europe. We're thinking over there.
Prudes, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure I've seen these on some overseas shows.
Like, is the Amsterdam red light district the NXT to the Swedish Sex League? Like, is that where you go for developmental?
No, that might be where the championship's held.
Then you transfer over. Like, are there going to be call ups? You know what I mean? Like, so many questions. I'm so intrigued with this just because I think it's absolutely hilarious that they're turning sex into a sport. And if we have like rugby and fencing and everything else in the Olympics, we need to get sex into the Olympics as a sport. Can we get a gold medalist? Like, we can have singles and duos like they do in figure skating.
You have a better chance of MMA going in the Olympics before you have this going into the Olympics. Maybe if they were still just held in Greece, you might have a chance. But
and fans can vote. So is this like American Idol? Are we texting in, hey, give me Johnny Sins from the United States, 10 out of 10. Like, here we go. Are we like is that are we voting in?
Is it like
be streaming?
Yeah. Is it like fan control football? You know, you send in the play, and
I mean, that's not a bad idea. There's ownership potential there, right? Like, like it's just so many questions, so many ways this can go. But I saw it this week, and I was like, "Oh, I know exactly what I'm starting the pod off with." Like, this is unbelievable. Barstool Sports put out an article on it on their Twitter feed.
Of course they did.
Yeah. So if you want to read up on it, go to Barstool on Twitter, click on that, and you can find the article and read it there. But I'm absolutely fascinated by this. I don't know why. I just think it's hilarious that we're turning sex into a sport. So.
Steve has the countdown ready for the season to begin.
I mean, like, what,
I don't need to
like,
laugh.
is this gonna be like 1999 on Fight TV? Like, how are we? You know, where's the profitability coming in from this? You know what I mean? Are we going to have a protected versus non-protected category? You know, Baggett versus Raw. Like, I mean, what are we doing here? Like, tremendous. It's just like so many questions. I've got so many questions. So many questions. Like, can we get an applause meter in the arena so the louder the crowd chants, you know, it goes from red to green, and then does somebody get the gold star like on America's Got Talent, where you can automatically advance into the finals? Yeah, the golden buzzer.
So would Viagra be a thing?
Is that a performance enhancing drug?
Yeah,
is it off? That's on the ban list. That's the PED for the sex league.
I'm trying to figure out where
Cialis, all that.
I'm trying to figure out where the gold confetti is going to shoot out of.
Wow. That's why I said there's so many questions with this sex league. It's unbelievable. So, tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. So there it is. There's some shits and giggles for you guys to start the pod today. I didn't think you guys would, you know, come in, sit down, and talk about a Swedish sex league to start the show. But here we are.
No, didn't see that one at all.
No, didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah.
Right. That was not on your 2023 bingo card. So there you go. There's that. But see, Ty, you're asking good questions, Ty, but I'm not putting that question up. Not during this month. So yeah, just tremendous. Well, that's a good question. I mean, would that be considered? Is that like rosin for pitching?
That's performance enhancement.
Well, no, rosin is legal, but if you mix like rosin, sunscreen, and rubbing alcohol together, that's illegal. like what's the spider tack equivalent?
The spider tack, yeah.
Right. Like, and then like what's the Bill Belichick Spygate version of this? Like, you know, if you're watching film on like, you know, wherever site, is that considered, you know, Spygate? And how do you deflate the balls to be the New England Patriots in this league? Like, to me, you would want them filled with air as much as possible.
I think you know how to answer that question.
I do. I just wanted to see if one of you would take the bait. And that ain't no fun. Jay's been quiet this entire 10-minute segment.
He's got the kid in the room, probably.
Hey, you gotta learn sometimes. Sit him down, teach him the birds and the bees. Here you go. But yeah, tremendous. All right. So let's move on. Anything else from this week that caught your guys' eye about anything?
Nah.
No. Real quick, start off the show. Rest in peace, Sheiky baby. Iron Sheik. I saw somebody put this question out there. Is Iron Sheik at the top of the Mount Rushmore of heels in professional wrestling? And it got me thinking, kind of hard to come up with somebody that would knock him off for that number one overall spot.
He was legit hated.
Legit hated. Like in an era whenever America. It was, yeah, whenever it was real gets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, like the Horseman had heat in that. And there was, you know, some other people. Piper was really good. But yeah, like I really struggled to come up with somebody that I would knock Sheiky off as the ultimate number one heel on the Mount Rushmore heels. So maybe we'll ponder that.
Yeah, I might have to think about that one.
As like an offshoot, you know, little clip we'll put up discussing that.
When's my week?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Doing the homework for you. There you go. And the question's already written for him. He just got it. He's just gonna pull my clip up. Hey, Chris, can you cut this and play it for me. So
name on the group project.
Name on the group project. The biggest name ever. He's John Hancock. He's the largest signature on the group project. Oh man. But yeah, rest in peace, Sheiky baby. Gonna miss the daily tweet. Gonna miss the daily tweet.
Talk about someone that got Twitter.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Maybe a top 5 Twitter account of all time.
Definitely in pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his last tweet was fuck the wildfires. Like that was his last tweet. Like he just got it. It was just
that could be true, Taquan.
Well, maybe I don't know. Oh, speaking of Taquan, you know what I realized last week, Taquan? There was no Luigi Primo reference at all. The streak was snapped. It was snapped, broke down, ain't come up with one.
You're too busy arguing with Pro.
I sent Pro in as the diversion to get him off the street. So we're gonna crown Pro as Taquan's Brock Lesnar. WrestleMania moment and snapping the Luigi Primo reference streak. Last week. I did. I went through the comments after the show. I didn't see it. I'll double back.
Yeah, I don't remember one either.
But what was the comment?
The week before was the emojis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll see.
Roman covered in marinara.
Roman covered in that's a old Stretch Armstrong. I'll think about that. We're gonna leave that up to the judges to make a ruling. Like in Jeopardy, we're gonna roll on that and give you a decision before the end of the show. See if we let that one slide. You may have to come up with 2 this week just to get by. So yeah, pro wrestling this week. Big announcements for the announcements of the announcements. Before we get into Mount Rushmore and Jabroni, I did like the fact that on Rampage last night, QTV poked fun at the announcement of the announcements of the announcements. Like, okay, you get it, which is nice to see that you can put egg on your face, pause, and make fun of yourself because Lord knows that's all Twitter's been doing with that for weeks. So,
and ice cream.
The ice cream was funny too.
Yeah.
You disassociate Powerhouse Hobbs. I like QTTV.
Yeah. So, yeah, the ice cream. Already been done. And then the spilling of JR's coffee, I thought that was hilarious too. So yeah, kudos to them for that, making fun of themselves. So, all right, with that being said, Mount Rushmore, busy week. A lot went on this week. It feels like a lot's gone on every single week in pro wrestling since Mania, pretty much.
Because there's so fucking much of it.
Yeah, AEW, Excalibur needs paid like triple time and a half for his rundown at the end of Rampage. He ran through Dynamite, Forbidden Door, and some Collision. All at the end of Rampage last night. Like give this man a raise. Like,
they were trying to do that with Michael Cole last night on SmackDown too. It's like, all right, we can stop this shit.
There was a little testiness between Cole and Wade last night. I don't know if you caught that. Like it was a little, I don't want to say animosity, but it was a little snippy, little back and forth, like, which maybe they're switching up how they go about their style with each other. Make it more of a heel face dynamic, but well, I mean, if you're running through the division, like, right? I'm literally going to loop everything back around to that Swedish sexy this episode, just FYI, because it's hilarious.
One track mind today.
It's just fact. Like I've literally it's just I just had questions continuously popping in my mind all week long. Like, what's the rule book say? You know, you get a handbook for school each year that you got to sign off on. Like, what's the rule book say? How we breaking this down. What's the prize? What's the purse? How much are we putting up? And if it's a strip club owner that started it, how much is he taking off the top? Because we know them dudes.
You're winning STDs.
Does that put you on the injured list, like in Major League Baseball when you strain your tricep? You go on the injured list?
That's out. That's retirement.
Congratulations, you got a trip to the free clinic.
All right, a lot of pro wrestling to get into. What do we got Mount Rushmore this week? Who wants to step up?
I'll go.
I'll go first. I seem to always go last, so I'm gonna switch it up. I'll go first this week because my Mount Rushmore is something from the three of you that you guys don't care about and haven't watched. So my Mount Rushmore this week is Impact Wrestling.
Things happened there that I didn't expect.
Yeah,
against all odds last night. I'm telling you,
don't say it. Don't say it. Just don't.
They don't miss.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
100%.
Not on the specials and the pay-per-views. You can question them sometimes on a weekly standpoint, right? Which you can do with every show. But as far as like pay-per-views go and that, they really don't miss. Like, I don't think I've watched a bad Impact show this year. Like, thoroughly enjoyed it. The matches were great. The tag team match from last night was tremendous. Their roster continues to evolve. They continue to slide people in new spots. Jordan Grace is gone, free agent. Okay, great. We got people to fill the shoes and keep it moving. Josh Alexander goes out with an injury. What are we going to do with our champion? Steve Macklin stepped up and has done a really good job. Like, I'm enjoying his heel run as champ. Even like the smaller lower card feuds have been good. The design in OVE with Sammy Callahan and them, that's been a good story. Madman Fulton was brought back last night because they were in Ohio. So, he was the surprise announced partner for OVE in that matchup. It's a good show. I'm entertained by it. The pay-per-views have been strong. We got Slammiversary coming up here shortly. So I'll be tuned in for that, and we'll see where we go from here. But I'm gonna put Impact as my Mount Rushmore this week for their showing last night.
Do you see that coming at all with those two champions?
No, I did absolutely
not.
No. Which is good.
Yeah. No, that's
right. I mean, you need that. There's too many times where we sit there and just automatically know the result. Yeah. Even when the match is good and it suspends your disbelief and it gets you on false finishes and that, but to have some things change that you weren't expecting and to get some buzz and stuff talking, like I'm okay with doing that. And they seem to do that better than most.
Mm-hmm. And I get, because to me, at least the little that I pay attention to it, they always seem to make these surprises at these monthly events instead of the pay-per-views more these days. I guess to get you to tune into these.
Yeah.
Which is surprising whenever you're paying out the money for a pay-per-view and you're going to give it the bigger surprise on a special. But it's like makes you at least need to pay attention to it.
So they've been giving you the surprises on these, like you said, these monthlies, but they've been doing a better job at the payoffs on the pay-per-views.
Okay.
So they've been building and continuing stories through weekly, continuing the story through the special monthly, and then they deliver the payoff at the pay-per-view whenever that comes around. So, I mean, it's a formula that's been working for them right now, and kudos to them. The little engine that could, the promotion that won't die is Impact Wrestling. But hey, from a brand standpoint, character standpoint, story standpoint, like I'm in on Impact in 2023, which I just wish they were more easily available to watch, because I really do think more people would enjoy the product today. And like for me, I don't even think about the LOL TNA days. Like that's how strong they've been in this last 2 to 3 year run. So if you got me to not even think about the LOL TNA days, then I'm cool. Who has a cow mooing right now in the background? What is that?
Sounds like a video game.
Those people doing yard work.
Uh,
That's what you guys do.
Well, yeah, we know
And
you don't
the
do
rest
that.
of us.
You don't- that thing called the sun is like the arch enemy of Jason. And it gets me now. I don't know where they go, right? Based off of some of the stuff that happened last night. Where do you go now?
I saw this morning they announced Shelley versus Nick Aldis for the championship at Slammiversary. So that's an interesting one there. Like, do they move to another champion or shenanigans, or they stick the belt on Shelley for a little bit just to see what happens?
I don't know. But and not all of their concept matches hit, right? But they continue to come up with new stuff that really hasn't been seen in pro wrestling whenever everything's been done in pro wrestling. Like the 8-4-1 match last night, I thought was a really cool concept. You have two teams of 4 mixed with heels and baby faces on each team. Those teams have a 4-way. Whoever wins the 4-way, they go into a fatal 4-way between the 4 of them, and the winner of that gets the title shot.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like that better than the Bound for Glory series that they were doing.
It's different.
Like that. Yeah.
It's different. Yeah, something different.
Can they coexist?
Exactly.
Well, going into it, they're not going to coexist because
it's still for every man for himself in a way, but
sure, I like that better than what we're getting next week with the tag gauntlet.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Need to fill TV time. That's all that is.
Exactly.
Yeah. So kudos to Impact. Mount Rushmore of the week this week for me. If you didn't see the pay-per-view, go check it out. There's sites out there that have the replay of it. Watch it. Like I said, it was good. The 8-4-1 match was really good. The surprises were good. And that tag team match with Bullet Club and why am I drawing a blank right now? It'll come back to me. But that was probably my match of the night on the card itself. So, and their women's division continues to be one of the strongest in all of pro wrestling, even with a small roster. So,
how was Deanna and Masha?
I mean, those two, like, Masha to me has just continued to elevate her game to where, not saying that
one of your matches of the year last year was the two of them.
Yeah, no. her and Jordan Grace.
Jordan, okay.
Yeah, because I gave FTR and the Briscoes enough love throughout the year. I had to just throw somebody else in there because mine was a foregone conclusion. But she's at a point now where, from a match standpoint wise, not saying that she doesn't have bad matches, but like I expect it to be a standout match every time she wrestles. Like, she's been that good. So her rise and ascension is only going to continue to go upwards. And Deanna is Deanna. She's top 5 for me across the board and has been. So yeah, absolutely, Ty. No doubt about it. But I'm telling you, like, go check it out. Watch the replay. Let me know. Mars, what up?
What up?
On, Mars,
down in the den in the building. Down in the den in the building. Yeah, so Impact, Mount Rushmore against all odds for me. Who's next?
For me, it was good seeing main event Jay in solo action yesterday. I'm not touching on the storyline at all. Just seeing him just being solo, it just brought back everything he did with Roman for me. So I like main event Jay. I mean,
are we holding up the graphic for the bloodline?
Our bloodline break
right now. Are we doing it right now? Might as well get it in early since it was brought up. Because, all right. Yeah. Go ahead. Who
didn't see where it was going. I thought Jimmy was going, or Jay was going to super kick Jimmy by accident or something. I didn't see it the other way around. I actually thought they were going to put the belt on Jay.
That's what I thought too, Jason.
Yeah.
I thought that's where it was going last night.
just to get his head big and turn on Jimmy. I was like, you see, you just don't know where this story's going.
I continue to say this, and this harkens back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago when John Cena was on Busted Open and what he said about Roman. Roman wasn't in the building last night, wasn't on TV at all, but yet his presence was felt throughout the entire 2 hours of the show. And because of that, it made everybody that was on screen feel that much more important. And everyone delivered. Everybody played their roles. I thought the conversation between Sammy and Jay was great, although I don't know why the tag team brand split be damned. I don't know why people are on SmackDown that are on Raw, and then I'm sure we'll get into something else because one of us will have something as a jabroni of the week later on. But yeah, no, it's great. And now, my personal booking from last week, I don't know, rip that shit up because now, like, I had the Usos versus Roman and Solo at Money in the Bank, and then Jay and Roman at SummerSlam. But now, after last night, no clue.
You'll find out next week when Roman returns.
Which continues to make you turn in each and every single week.
Yeah, you have to.
Which is what the Monday Night Wars did.
Mm-hmm.
It made you tune in each and every single Monday.
Like, where do you go after the Bloodline's done? Like, do we all take a wrestling break? Nothing's going to get this good.
I'm ready for my break now, so it's like I'll take my break now, then I'll start watching it whenever you guys take a break. I'm looking forward to my break next week. Very much.
I just don't. I want to fast forward to Friday.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel.
Really, like I will fast forward to Friday. Get me to Friday night.
It is. I'm like, it's so good. Just put it on Monday.
Yeah, as the bloodline turns, it's the best thing in pro wrestling. It has been for 3 years. Chris, you're literally probably the 1% that absolutely hates everything about the bloodline.
Is it entertaining? Yes. Is it that good? No.
It's one of the better. It's arguably top three best story arcs they've done in WWE history.
Yes.
Again, it's good. There's a reason why it's so good because everything
it's up there with Kane and Undertaker.
Everything else is shit.
Let me get a shirt made for you that says Bloodline Hater. See, look, best storyline ever.
Get it for me. I will wear it.
Mars is correct.
Just waiting for the
last. There hasn't been a story that has gone on this long in pro wrestling. We've seen maybe a year and a half. Like Hogan Savage was a year.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those other we did that like a couple months ago.
Debate this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to debate this with the year plus storylines. Like, it's just
this could have been a year storyline.
No, then we'd be sitting here not doing anything. Because there's not much
a long time ago.
It is. It's just every week
about announcements.
It is. It's just every week it's something different. Something different. Another piece to the puzzle that just sends you off this way when you think it was going this way.
Just keep
the multiverse of the bloodline.
It is so good.
It started out as a 200-piece puzzle, then it became a 500-piece puzzle, then it became a 1,000-piece puzzle. It
is.
The Guinness World
for no fucking reason.
It's the Guinness World Record of puzzles. Okay, and we still have so many pieces to fill in. You got lust in your eyes for Elizabeth.
That's definitely there.
All right. That's the This segment was brought to you by As the Bloodline Turns back to our regularly scheduled program. So Donald got main event Jey Uso from a wrestling standpoint last night in the main event. Not gonna be mad about that. I thought him and Theory had a really good match.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Theory did not look out of place.
No, he didn't.
He never does in the ring.
No.
But
I'm loving that they're keeping Pretty Deadly and him together. Oh, more of that. More of those three together. Yes.
Boy.
Yes, boy.
I thought that was gonna be Donald's Mount Rushmore. Them interrupting Sammy and KO.
I can't pick him every week, though. It's like Bloodline Pretty Deadly. It's like
I thought KO's reaction was tremendous during that segment last night, but I thought the line that popped me the most was, "Who are these boys?" Like, tremendous.
You would think about what did Pretty Deadly say? What you think about your wardrobe or something?
Yeah.
I think they'll find out soon enough who those boys are.
Yeah, the next undisputed tag team champions.
Hey.
Sammy and KO had their moment at WrestleMania. Yeah, it's time.
And I also like KO. Everybody's standing too close to me. And then when Pierce leaned in and he was making the announcement for the gauntlet, he was like rubbing shoulders with KO. KO like bumped, like, stop touching me. Tremendous.
Well, since we're on the topic of tag teams, Monday it was the showing of Caden and Katana, but then they booked Alba and Isla just as good. So the way they're positioning this women's tag, I'm enjoying it, and it's looking good right now.
So do you think they're getting rid of the NXT tag belts and they're just going with one women's tag team titles?
That's what it looks.
Yeah. Like it was supposed to in the beginning?
Yeah.
But you see them pairing off tag teams on NXT now a little bit. Kind of have people in the work. So if it's going to be that belt where it's how it's supposed to be, they're fitting on all three brands, I'll take it.
I'll get a little bit into that later on too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did think for them having their first match, being booked as strong as they were, I thought their finisher looked good. You know, really almost had Ronda, Shayna with the save.
Interesting.
I mean, if you're teasing Money in the Bank to go on and challenge on all brands, you know, Braun calling out Seth for the world title, like, I wouldn't be mad at that, you know.
Mm-mm.
And the way they're positioning these people going back down to NXT, and Nick Khan came out this week and says that, you know, they see NXT
save that.
All right. All right. We'll just pause on that. So Jay, you got
little foreshadowing.
Kaden and Casey, or just the women's tag team division as a whole.
Just how they booked those two right now. Kaden and Katana, and then Island thing. Like as soon as they threw up Ronda and Kaden, I was like, this is going to be a squash match. Why are they going to bury these two? And they made both teams look strong from Monday and Friday.
Do you know who's the one call up that they still continue to miss on?
He got a vignette.
A vignette.
Yo, they're not hitting with Waller for me, and I don't know how you miss with him. He's the only one that I don't feel has been presented in the strongest light. Like everybody else,
he shouldn't have been called up yet.
He should have been, but he should be in the ring. He shouldn't be doing the Waller effect.
There was no reason he was called up so quick.
Why don't you think Waller was ready for the call up?
He didn't hit for. He doesn't hit for me in NXT. You know, I didn't put him there yet. That he was ready to be put on the main roster. I don't know if they were just looking for somebody, you know, because he can talk. You know, they just figured, hey, we'll put him in some segments and work with him, maybe. But they're doing exactly what I was expecting them to do with him up here. And I did not that I wanted to see that, but
You know what it reminds me of?
It's Vince in his NXT talent almost, and
You
Triple
know what
H
it?
does
You
better.
know, I mean, yeah, I can see that, but you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of whenever Miz first started.
Okay.
When Miz was just strictly out there on the mic,
Yeah.
doing that stuff,
Diva Search and all that.
Yeah.
Diva Search, and then he spent that whole year practically calling out John Cena on the mic, like, you know what I mean? We haven't gotten that from all yet, but I feel like that's the early comparison for me. Is like, you're just letting this dude talk, and yeah, he can gab, but what you're having him do, I mean, he's doing the Waller effect segments, and he's had nothing but females on.
AJ, that was it.
AJ, that first time, that was it.
Charlotte next week.
Yep.
So,
I thought they were going to be, and we talked about it on here. I thought there was the way that him and AJ had that stare down. I thought they were going to lead to something, but they're focusing still more on the cross stuff. So now Waller goes to a different guest in a way with Charlotte, so they're not continuing with the AJ. So it's like, what was the point of that with AJ?
Exactly.
It almost makes it, if they keep doing that type of segment with him, makes it a missable segment then.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really like the vignette either.
No.
Like if you stack up the vignettes for the call ups, I feel like his was one of the weakest.
Yeah.
I know who he is, so it's like I didn't need the vignette to hype him up, but yeah, if someone doesn't know who he is, didn't watch NXT, and I don't know if that really would do anything.
No.
All right.
Like, he just like a highlight reel. That's what all his was. Everybody else like cut promos and
they're like putting over like the viral moments and that type of thing, but it's like, you got somebody else on your roster who's a part-timer that has gone more viral than he has and does the character better, and that's Logan Paul.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's different between them two is Grayson's a better on the mic than Logan is. But like, other than that, I would rather take Logan Paul over Grayson right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
All
right, Chris, what do you got for Mount Rushmore?
It was tough for me this week. Honestly, I feel like mine could go either way, but I'm gonna go on the positive side of it instead of the negative side of it, and that's that we're getting some at least title clarification right now. Like we started talking about with
title clarification. We have no title clarification.
That we're getting, the women's tag teams combining, and at least, it's not going to be a Raw women's title on the SmackDown brand and a SmackDown women's title on the Raw brand.
Well, we don't. We don't know that. That whole title presentation last night to Asuka was completely confusing, and it. So
they didn't call it. They call it the WWE Women's Championship.
That's right.
So they sell it as the Undisputed Championship. So find out Monday.
So why did you have the Raw champion on SmackDown getting a new belt and not the SmackDown champion on SmackDown getting a new belt?
And then Charlotte saying, once I win this title, I want you to strap this title. Yeah, I want that one also.
Yeah,
I was like,
that title's now void. Basically.
And then Charlotte's on SmackDown, so why is she challenging Asuka for a Raw title?
Now it's no longer the Raw title, supposedly.
Well, so the World Heavyweight title is still the Raw title.
Yeah.
It's just not called the Raw Heavyweight Championship. Yeah. It's just the World Heavyweight title. But then Mars, they say that, but I didn't get that clarification last night. Like, they just announced the title and then Charlotte's music hit.
Yeah, the way Charlotte kept referencing back to the Raw title.
Yeah,
because that made no sense. But again, like I said, it could go either way for people. So, and to me, there wasn't a lot of good this week for me to.
At least she did it before Juneteenth, Taquan. If it would have happened on the Raw on the 19th, then we would have had a problem. Okay, then we would have had a problem. And Bianca is going heel. I don't know if I said that.
Yeah.
I said that.
See that the way she talked to Pierce,
Yeah.
wearing all
The
black,
Street Profits were heel.
and all three of them were wearing all black yesterday.
All black. Like I think we're going to get the
foreshadowing for it.
We're getting the cocky EST that was the start out in NXT that I wanted on the main roster. Not the smiley, happy,
go lucky,
so proud to be here. I'm so thankful. I'm so humble. No, talk your shit, girl. Go out there, whip these, as Trick would say, tricks, and show everybody why you're the strongest, fastest, toughest, best. EST
has held almost every women's title, has been the longest reigning of the modern era. It fits her gimmick to be that EST.
And Charlotte is still not a babyface.
Pop every time she returned, but still got a My only thing is, could they give him a different design?
Oh,
that would be interesting.
That stable.
No,
Or one big ass Hurt Business.
That'd be a good feud with Judgment Day.
Yeah,
different brands though.
That don't mean anything.
It's a brand split. So you're. Oh wait, hold on, pause. I missed the entire. The light bulb just went off.
The whole
Your entire Mount Rushmore this week was title clarification.
Oh, dude, this week sucked.
I thought you would put Cole on there.
Like,
what was your other one?
Think how long it took me to make that my Mount Rushmore, and think if I had another one.
You said so that was going to be either your jabroni or your.
I said you could go either way with it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not my jabroni. I have another jabroni.
Okay.
But
that was going to be my jabroni. Was that title presentation? But there was a lot of good wrestling on Raw on Monday night. Like a lot of good wrestling.
Match wise, it just felt
Raw. Yeah.
Dominic continues to get uber heat.
Oh, Dom's going to put Cody over.
The Cody line was probably the best thing on Raw. Your prison tat's worse than mine. That was probably the best thing on Raw.
You didn't enjoy none of the matches?
I didn't enjoy Raw.
Him slapping Cody and running behind Rhea is just like
gold.
I like that whole segment. I enjoyed that whole segment.
Cody was like, Seth was like, where are they under the ring making out? Like, I thought that was a hilarious line.
Like overall show for the week, I'd say SmackDown was the better show out of anything I watched. But yeah. Felt like it was a pretty missable week in wrestling.
Sheesh. Tough to get. Chris is getting hard to please lately.
I was way more positive about this week than you were.
Same. I really
like last night. Like after I shut off SmackDown, I was like, "See, I'm glad I'm not going to be able to watch anything next week. Like, it's a good time for me to take a break."
Rampage was so. I didn't
see Rampage, but
I mean, you got the surprise with Sky Blue winning the women's fatal 4-way for the title shot.
I was thinking Mercedes, but yeah, I was surprised with Sky.
You know,
to do what?
Other than that, not much.
To do what the hell's going to do.
Exactly.
I'm planning on going to see it tomorrow with my kids. So no spoilers, please.
Yeah, I heard it was really good. I'm gonna try to go this week also.
Yeah. So.
Nothing from AEW.
AEW was a big miss for me.
Altogether?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it.
Not enough to say it was something up there, but
I had somebody. So I wasn't watching Dynamite live. I started it late and was watching it, so I was behind on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a text message from somebody, and they said, MJF versus Cole, MJF Cole segment, Mount Rushmore of the week, hands down. So I got a little excited. I'm like, okay, like Cole, like MJF, both good on the stick, potential to be, top-notch segment. And then I watched it, and I was just,
You were like Jason when someone hyped something up and we're let down.
I just thought.
I agree.
I thought it was a rinse and repeat. Like if you're going to compare, if you're going to compare, pause. Exactly, Taquan. I told you I was gonna keep looping it back around to that Swedish sex league. I told you. At least Taquan's paying attention in the comments. Like I felt like the MJF. If you're gonna say who won the promo battle, I guess you can give it to MJF on points. Cole really didn't come back at him.
You know.
But the whole MJF portion was, to me, it was just like a rinse and repeat of what he did with Punk.
That's what he always did. Mm-hmm. Just follow the format.
Subtract Punk, add Cole, tell your story, and then troll with the rumor, innuendo, Keith Lee manager, you know, doing the Karrion Kross promo that Cole cut on Kross, taking that verbiage, throwing it back at Cole. Like, I really wanted Cole to go after him.
Yeah.
Just to get MJF's reaction to that.
Because heel Cole would have done that, not babyface Cole.
Right. So the babyface Cole went the route of, I'm gonna outsmart you and get you into a match.
Mm-hmm. And then they didn't. Then when they didn't clarify the match, I was just like, "This is gonna be on Collision."
But it made it.
They didn't announce it yet, but
it's on Wednesday night.
It's an eliminator match.
For Wednesday. Okay.
It's an eliminator match. So if Cole wins, he gets the title.
No. Yeah, so if he wins, the title match itself, I'm just saying
it's
going to be on Collision. We're going to waste this match just on TV.
I think you'll get them two at Forbidden Door.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Because there's nobody. There's nobody in New Japan that I want to see MJF wrestle.
No,
because MJF is so heavy on the mic. You can't really do that, and you're not going to have people over here in enough time to do that to make it a worthwhile match. So give me Cole versus MJF at Forbidden Door, and let it run from there. Even though I feel like you need the AEW is seriously lacking from I don't want to say a story standpoint, because like you're getting story with certain stuff, but it is not consistent storytelling.
I enjoyed it. It's just what I mean. It wasn't Rushmore worthy, but
like it was good, but I didn't walk away from it going up. Write it down in my notes. Make sure I put it on Mount Rushmore this week. I just
like Steve. It's just like the CM Punk stuff. Just enter wrestler, tear him down from, the low hanging fruit and all that stuff, and then just go with it.
And we'll get the same build up, towards All In. A couple more weeks. You can get
with your WWE personnel, reference as always in there. Hunter, Vince, the same thing. It's over and over.
Anything else Mount Rushmore wise? So that was the positive of the week, the best of the best. Great movie, by the way. Not as good rewatching it now in 2023, but when that first came out, that movie was top notch.
Some movies don't hold up.
Yeah, that one definitely didn't. The acting in it is so bad. So bad.
I still like the fight.
So bad. So bad. Well, since Chris, you thought the entire week was the drizzling shits, why don't you go first for Jabroni of the week?
I mean, there's only one number one jabroni, right? Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Very true. Yeah. Very true.
Always and forever. But no, this week, Steve, you started talking about this, and I told you to hold off. Mine is what Nick Khan said this week. He's actually brought this up a couple times, and that's I think what's pissing me off more about the situation is he said
he really hammered it home this week.
Yeah,
like really hammered it home this week.
And he said he wants NXT to be a third brand, and
legitimate third brand.
He thinks that they can do this, and the only thing I thought of was you already had this and you fucking destroyed it.
Yes.
And
So they literally had it.
Yeah. And now for me, NXT isn't very watchable. Like, it's hit or miss for me a lot of times. So it's like, so now you want to make it a third brand again? Like, it's not strong right now. Like, now's not the time. And then you saw, Braun Breaker is going to be, getting a title shot on Raw. You saw Carmelo and Trick last night on SmackDown. And
well, that ties in with the whole Corbin thing. So I like that you're continuing stories on both shows, right? See, I disagree. I think NXT has been strong. I think it's one of the stronger shows on a weekly basis.
To me, it's still 2.0.
See, they've shed that skin from me.
No, not even close. It's the same thing.
But to me, I'm not grading them on. I have them on their own grading scale.
So you're not holding them to black and gold NXT. You're just looking at it as NXT now and grading it off of that.
Yeah, not black and gold nor main roster.
Yeah.
So I have it on its own little,
Like, I thought Tuesday was a good show. You had the Noam Dar Mello match, the Creed brothers, which I'm sold on them. Ilya and Corbin. Dragunov continues to just tear it up. I thought he was really strong on the mic. The only miss for me this week was the in that 6-man with the Creed brothers and Schism was Ava.
Yeah.
But it's developmental. So I know people were out there absolutely destroying her, putting out clips like, look at this, too slow, not in position, clunky, this, that. I'm like, dog, it's her very first match on TV. Like, I don't know how long she's been in the Performance Center, but like, I'm not going to. That's whenever the NXT light bulb, as far as developmental, still kicks on for me, is whenever I see that. So I'm not going to bury that because it is still developmental.
I feel like now's the time that they need to focus the way that they did NXT in the past, where you had all your NXT talent tour, because they're touring again all over Florida. Tour all them. That's where all the talent is. And then you just have, the people you want to showcase be on TV. Not necessarily it be developmental. Like, yes, in a way it's still developmental because it's younger talent, but you don't put all the younger talent on. And I think it can be kind of a best of all worlds.
And that could tie into my jabroni of the week, since we're on NXT. The women's battle royal, it was just a mess for me. You can see, well, like we said, it's developmental, but there's only like a handful of women that could like really perform, missing spots and stuff. Dana Brooke being in that match was for no reason. She shouldn't even be down there.
She's a free agent.
I don't think she helps towards them whatsoever. She's not like Corbin or Ali.
No, I would agree with that.
Like, I don't think she will help one bit. And then when you got to the
final, did you like the finish?
I didn't mind the finish. The only thing I hate about the finish is the trope that they use when you think somebody's thrown out and then they come back in at the end. That's something that has to stop. They used it, but at least lately. At least
with her, they showed her getting beat down outside the ring, so I could kind of buy into it. It wasn't just like through the middle rope and then you lay there and we forget about you and then you pop up. Like, at least they showed her getting attacked, and then commentary brought it up again that she was attacked on the outside prior to coming back. I don't mind Tia getting the shot. Like, shout out to her.
Either. I don't.
Plum High School, local girl, here to the area. So I'm always going to root for anybody local.
I definitely don't mind her. It's somebody different, because everybody else that you had at the end, was around the title, shot somewhere.
And whenever you got to the last four or the last three, it's like, you're not gonna. Dana would have been the obvious choice, just because, right? You're not gonna have Cora and Tiffany go at it because they're two heels. So
I was thinking Fallon, but they never finished.
With Kiana,
got to work with her and Kiana,
yeah. So
Yeah, so when it got to that and then Theo won, I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. But yeah, just the Battle Royal in general.
All right. Jay?
I didn't really have a jabroni. Other than I put myself on there.
Again, that's the fallback.
I put myself on there. So my mother takes Gavin to church, and he's looking at the banners around the church, and he's texting them to my mother and my sister. So one says like Lord of Lord, King of Kings. So when he come home, my mother's like, so did you learn in church today? And she's like, did you learn who the King of Kings is? And he's like, the gorilla. The gorilla. She's like, no, that's King Kong. And I'm like, I'm over here like, it's the King of Kings. The King, it's Triple H. Thinking in my head, and like, no, we're both ass wrong because it's God. We're on two different. Like he's thinking King Kong. I'm wrestling is so ingrained in my head right now. I'm thinking Triple H, and I've been in church my whole life.
Whenever you said he said gorilla, I was like, dang, he knows his position.
I was thinking the same
thing.
I've been watching too much wrestling.
Jason, you need to teach Sunday school.
Who's the King of Kings?
Everybody spit water.
That's holy water. I didn't, not everything was a hit. Obviously, there was stuff that I did not like. I think AEW for me right now, like I fast forwarded through a lot of stuff this week, which I've never done before. And I did it for both Dynamite and Rampage. So I don't know what it is with them right now in this particular moment. But yeah, I fast forwarded through a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna put AEW as my jabroni of the week this week.
Too much focus on Collision.
I
don't even think it was that. It was just
not good.
No, it's not on TV. I'm talking about probably backstage. He's just focusing more on that show, building that right up.
Oh, Taekwon, that Rampage, that fast forward through Rampage, bro. It was like maybe 7 minutes total. I watched Rampage. Like Orange and Swerve was good, although
no selling anything.
And it went both ways because
it did
the same damn thing. But like you hit a Death Valley driver to the outside of the ring apron, then you roll in and do the swerve stomp, and Orange Cassidy kicks out. Like, come on, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing? I could have put up the internet wrestling community again for their just absolute Jay White's not being booked good. Jay White this, Jay White that. They're wasting Jay White. Why would he ever sign with AEW? Jay White. I'm like, dog, do you not see what they're doing with Jay White? Like, do you not see, like, the man has his own stable. He's been featured. He just main evented a Dynamite. And oh, by the way, he's main eventing the kickoff episode to a brand new show. And for what it's worth, CM Punk requested to work with Jay White. Not that we're going to get Punk versus White right now, but it's why he's in the main event. And they teased the Bullet Club versus FTR. I think we're going Punk versus Joe as far as the first feud on Collision. So and not everybody like the fucking wrestling fans are just so infuriating.
Yeah.
Like you bitched the same thing about Adam Cole whenever he came over. And granted, he had that serious concussion and was out for multiple months, which kind of derailed whatever they had set up, right? But you're not going to push. You can't push everybody to the top of the card right off the bat. He's not on darker elevation. The man is main eventing Dynamite. He was in 3 segments on Dynamite on Wednesday night. Like, what more do you want? With one of the bigger stars in the company, with Ricky Starks. The story may not good, and you may not like the story, which is fine. But at the same time, like,
he's on TV every week.
What are you bitching about? So yeah, I didn't want to put the internet wrestling community again because I feel like you can make them jabroni every single week.
Every week.
It's like the Bloodline storyline segment.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of undefeated streaks, I don't know if you caught this little tidbit on Dynamite, but did you see Hook is 30-0?
Oh, next month he loses the title.
It's not a recognized title.
Every July it changes.
You broke the algorithm.
Every July.
I didn't even know because I fast forward through every single Hook match.
He loses the Jungle Boy.
No, hey, Donald. I would go back and watch that Texas Tornado match.
Man, it's hard.
I thought that was a good match.
I think that's what they're called, right?
Yeah.
At least there's merch out for it.
Jungle Boy. All right, so that's Mount Rushmore and Jabroni of the Week for this week in pro wrestling. Hit us up on social media at DunmarksPod. Let us know who's on your Mount Rushmore and your Jabroni of the Week. And do we have a game this week, Chris?
We do.
What do we got?
We got something a little different, kind of going off of what Donald did with his word association a few weeks ago. But this week we're going to go just strictly WWE champions, current champions versus longest reigning champions. So we're going to go through them all first. So I'll lay out who the current champ is and who the longest reigning champ is. You pick one of those, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
All right. So up first, we got current Intercontinental Champion Gunther versus longest reigning Intercontinental Champion Honky Tonk Man.
Gunther.
Gunther, hands down. But I mean, Honky Tonk Man, I was like 5 when Honky Tonk Man had his reign. The most that I remember about Honky Tonk's reign was the Ultimate Warrior coming down in 5 seconds and ending the streak that Honky Tonk Man was on at SummerSlam. So I wasn't old enough to appreciate the run that Honky Tonk Man had, but he was one of Hogan's buddies, so he got to carry the belt for a long time. It is what it is. Gunther's restoring an identity to the Intercontinental title, which has been super disrespected for years.
Austin Theory.
Current champ Austin Theory, longest reigning United States champ Lex Luger.
Theory.
Yeah, Luger never did anything for me, period.
Other than narcissist.
Asuka and the Fabulous Moolah.
Asuka's just had the belt for a week. What are we talking about here? And why? The Fabulous Moolah had a longer reign than Bianca?
Yes, a lot longer.
Asuka.
Look back.
Well, I think
she's like Bruno back in the day.
She might have had a couple reigns longer than Bianca.
Awesome.
We go Asuka just because it's what I've seen.
Yeah. So similar one here. Someone watch Dark Side of the Ring.
Can we put this?
Oh, see, now this is bullshit. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this.
Mommy Mania.
I think I know who we're all picking.
Yeah.
All right. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn over the Usos.
Usos.
I'm going to go Usos as well. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Judy Martin and Leilani Kai. They were the longest reigning women's tag team champions back in the day.
I didn't even know there were women tag team.
No wonder why you win trivia on on Kenny and Toes Raw watching. Judy Martin and Leonie Kai, like this, is that where Dakota Kai got her name from?
That's a porn name. I'm going with the second
one. Judy Martin, like that's an ABC mom's name. Like,
hey guys, it's Judy Martin. Watch our show, 8:00, ABC.
It's an after-school special. Don't do drugs name. I avoid this question. I'm not even.
Ronda Baszler.
I gotta go Ronda. Seth Rollins and Batista.
Seth.
Batista.
Seth. Never was a Batista guy.
Like both of them, but I'm gonna go Seth over.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
We know you're taking Seth over. Taking Seth over everybody.
Don't do it.
That's your content over everything. It's Seth over everybody. I'll make that a show for you.
And Roman Reigns and Bruno Sammartino.
Now you're gonna make me decide between Rowan and Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan ain't longest reigning.
Nope, not longest reigning.
Okay. Well, do we get kicked out of the city if we go against Bruno? Like, I mean,
maybe you.
Not me. I'm going with Roman.
Roman.
I'll be the different one here. I'll go Bruno.
Oh, of course you will.
Anybody surprised?
I'll go Roman.
No, not at all. Not at all. Whenever Roman beats Bruno's streak, I'm gonna get you a shirt made with Roman standing over top of Bruno.
Then you'll get kicked out.
That is not happening.
All right. A little something different. History lesson. Running through some options there. Not bad. Not bad.
Leilani Kai. Let me not type that in my search.
Learned something new today.
All right. Anything else for final thoughts?
I don't think I have anything. So just make sure you guys head over, like us on all social media at DumbMarksPod, and please head over to Spotify. Listen to the show every Monday on Spotify. Get our listeners up. This way you can help your boys make some money.
Yes, sir. DumbMarksPod@gmail.com. Email the show. Oh, we got to vote. Taekwon. I don't think you got a Luigi Primo reference in this week's show either.
He did.
He said something about pizza. Yeah, the go to pizza.
Go to pizza.
You got it in there.
What are we doing with the marinara? What are we doing with the marinara?
He's getting a little lax with these now.
I mean, it's a reference.
Is it?
It's a reference.
Pizza doesn't make it
Luigi Primo reference.
Because you can't just say I mean, you can say Luigi Primo every week and that be a reference.
Next week he's just gonna type up one word and it's gonna be bubbly or bobly, whatever the hell that pizza bread was back in the 90s.
I was gonna say it's probably just gonna be the pizza emoji. That's all it's gonna be from now on. So yeah, I got it then.
Putting in pizza franchises.
All right, we'll let it slide, but you gotta come correct next week, Taekwon. We didn't see that comment.
I seen it. Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He called him the GOAT.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he called him a goat. He did.
Well, Chris, this ties into the Bloodline storyline for you as far as quote of the week. Okay. A little positivity to start your week out with, as well as to make Chris mad, which always makes my Saturday. So, with that being said, quote of the week this week is, it's a slow process, but quitting won't speed it up. You're not struggling. You're in the midst of conquering.
It sounds like the intro we talked about.
It's a slow process, but quitting won't speed it up. You're not struggling. You're in the midst of conquering. With that being said, thanks for tuning in to episode 139 of Dumbmarks Podcast. Spread the love. Let people know. Like, share, comment, interact. We appreciate everybody. Okay. Perfect way to end the show. This month.
He got you credit, Taekwon.
Yeah. I'm a Mark. You're a Mark. Tell Mark. Until next time, y'all can catch us around the way.